In part 1, we installed Ollama and got the private AI running on your laptop. Today, we are going to turn that private AI into an autonomous coding agent which can read files, write code, and build entire apps, all from one command in your terminal. By the end of this video, you will watch me give this AI a simple prompt and let it build something from scratch. But before that, what exactly are we setting up? Cloud Code is the coding agent built by Anthropic. It lives in your terminal, you tell it what you want in plain English, and then it reads files, writes codes, runs commands, and fixes its own mistakes. Normally, to use Cloud Code, you need paid subscription. But Ollama just added a way to use Cloud Code with open source models locally and completely free. But not free in terms of resources. It does have some baseline hardware requirements. In part 1, we covered the RAM rules: 8 GB for lightweight models like Llama 3.2, 16 GB or more for smart models like Llama 3.1 and Qwen 2.5 coder. Those rules still apply for chatting, but Cloud Code is not chatting. It is an autonomous coding agent. It reads your files, writes codes, runs commands, and keeps the entire conversation in memory while it works. So before you even type anything, Cloud Code loads its system prompt and tool definitions. That is about 15,000 tokens just to get started. Here is the math. The model we are using today, that is Qwen 3 coder, is a 19 GB download. That is just the model weights sitting in memory. But once you set the 64,000 token context window, the loaded model jumps to 25 GB. I tested 16K and 32K context length, and the AI just loops and hallucinates. 64K is the recommendation. Adding your operating system on top, and you are looking at around 30 gigs of memory used. I tested this on 2 machines. My main demo runs on Mac with Apple Silicon and 120 GB of unified memory, and that was smooth. But then I also tested on a 32 GB M2 Max. It works. Cloud Code reads files, analyzes codes, suggests fix, real agentic work. But it uses over 30 out of 32 gigs. A 16 GB machine is not going to cut it for this setup. 19 gigs for model alone already exceeds your total memory. The key takeaway here is the 8 GB and 16 GB setups from part 1 are great for local AI chat, but for a coding agent, you need 32 gigs minimum and the right model. You need 2 things installed before we start. First, Ollama version 0.15 or newer. If you followed part 1, you probably already have it. To check, open your terminal and type Ollama -- version. If it says 0.15 or higher, you are good. If not, go to ollama.com and download the latest version. Second, we need to install Cloud Code. Install it with one command. You can find this command in the video description or on the Cloud Docs. And that is it. 2 tools, both free. Before we launch anything, we need to download a coding model. This is similar to what we did in part 1 with Ollama pull command. But now we are picking a model specifically built for coding. So let's download the model. Ollama pull Qwen 3-coder. This downloads Qwen 3-coder at 30 billion parameters. It is about 19 gigabytes, so you might want to grab a coffee. Fun fact, this model uses mixture of experts architecture. It has 30 billion total parameters, but only 3.3 billion are active at any given time. That is why a 19 gigabyte model can still run efficiently on your local system, because it is not loading all 30 billion parameters for every single token. Once that finishes downloading, we have one more thing to configure. Now here is the step that separates the working setup from the broken one. Remember the context window from part 1? That is how much text the AI can hold in its head at once. For regular chatting, 8,000 tokens was fine, but Cloud Code needs way more. It sends a huge system prompt, plus your code files, plus the conversation. So if the context window is too small, it will loop, hallucinate, or just break. Ollama recommends at least 64,000 tokens for Cloud Code, so we need to set that before launching. And we are going to use the same terminal method from part 1, that is to start a chat session with the model. So type Ollama run Qwen 3-coder. Enter to start the chat session. To set the context window, type /set parameter num_ctx, followed by the context length that you want to set. So in my case, I'm going to set it as 65,536 and press enter. Now, before I go ahead and save this model, let me verify it actually worked. So let me say hi and go to the another terminal and type Ollama PS. Now look at the context column. If you see 65,536 or whatever number that you had set, then you are good to go. If it still says 4096 or any other number, then you might want to run the set command again. Now, since this is reflecting the number that I just set, I'm going to save this model. So let me go back to the other terminal. And to save this model, you need to type /save followed by the model name with which you want to save this updated or new configuration. So I'll say quen3 hyphen coder hyphen 64k and enter. And it's saved successfully. Now type /by to exit. You now have a model called quen3 coder 64k with the context window permanently baked in. And this is the model we will use with Claude Code. This is the moment. Everything is installed. The model is ready. Let's put it to work. First, I will create an empty project folder that is to do app and go to that project folder. Now, one command that connects Ollama and the Claude Code is Ollama launch ---- config. Enter. Now, first, it asks us to pick an integration. You will see multiple options like Claude Code, Codex, OpenCode, and others in the future. And today we are going to select Cloud. So press enter. Next, it asks us to pick a model. And today we are going to select the model that we just created, that is quen3 coder 64k. Now, I recommend using Ollama launch ---- command instead of Ollama launch cloud command is because it lets you see exactly what integrations and models are available on your machine. Now let's select this model, press enter, launch Claude Code now, enter. And just like that, you are inside Claude Code powered by your local model. No API key, no internet required. Everything is running on your machine. All right, let's see what it can do. I'm going to give it a simple prompt. Build me a to-do app, which allows me to add task, mark complete, delete, and I will let it pick the tech stack. Watch what happens. It starts thinking through the approach. HTML, CSS, JavaScript, local storage, and responsive design. It's not just dumping the code. It enters plan mode first, figures out what it's working with, and now here's the real part. It tries to explore the directory and hits an error, invalid tool parameters. But it doesn't stop there. It recovers, tries a different approach, starts reading files, checking for hidden files, and looking for a Git repo. And this is the agent loop in action. It's not just generating text, it's actually navigating the file system, making decisions, and adapting when things go wrong. And now it's writing code, 437 lines, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, all in a single file. And it even asks for permission before creating the file, so you are always in control. Here is the part that really gets me. It doesn't just write the code and call it done. It spins up a Python HTTP server on its own for testing. So it's verifying that what it built actually runs. And that's not autocomplete, that's an agent. Okay, so here is the application. Now let's see if it actually works. So we have the to-do app and it says organize your task efficiently. Let's try to add a task. Plan the blog on Claude Code. Enter. And we are able to add the task. Let me add one more. Plan the voiceover for Ollama video. Enter. And we added 2 tasks. Let me try to mark one of the tasks as completed. So let's mark plan the blog on Claude Code as completed. And it also updated out of 2 tasks, 1 task is completed. Now let's try to delete this task. Click on the cross icon and it's deleted. So this app is doing everything that we requested, and it was built from a very simple prompt using Claude Code and an open source model running on your local machine without spending any dollar. A few things I have learned from using this setup. First, Claude Code works best when you give it specific instructions. Instead of make a website, say build a React app with a login page using Tailwind CSS. The more specific you are, the better the output. Second, if it makes a mistake, and it will, you can just tell it. Say that button is not working, fix it. Cloud Code will read the file, find the bug, and fix it. That back and forth is where local models really shine because you are not paying per token. Third, if you are using Cloud Code on an existing project, run the init command first. It scans your code base and create a cloud.md file that describe your tech stack, project structure, and coding patterns. Cloud Code reads it every time it starts, so it makes better decisions without you having to explain your project from scratch. Let me recap what we just built. We took the Ollama engine from part 1 and connected it to Cloud Code using a single command and built a working app without writing a single line of code ourselves. Is it as good as Cloud Opus or GPT-4o? No. But it is private, it is free, and it is running on your machine right now. If you want to go deeper using Cloud Code for real projects, multi-file editing, debugging the code, let me know in the comments what you want to see next. Drop a like if this worked for you and subscribe so that you don't miss the next one.